With Bitcoin breaking over brand new all-time highs, the question now has to be, are we about to see rate cuts? Could we supercharge this cryptocurrency market? And more importantly, is Jerome Powell going to be the head of it? Well, let's break down some important charts. Let's take you through some information you need to know and absolutely understand what is coming in July, and is Jerome Powell going to make that decision? All of that in this video. We'll break it all down in some detail, so make sure you hit the like and subscribe button and stay till the end as we give you our summary of what's coming very soon when it comes to interest rates. With that being said, let's get into it. So like we said, Bitcoin breaking out over the weekend, which is very bullish with volume support and looking to retest this big 14-year resistance line. We broke the 8-year resistance, very bullish indeed, as the markets warm up for what could be the biggest week in crypto history. The US Senate is passing the Genius Act, the stablecoin bill, and everything else, looking very bullish indeed. But lots of people are wondering, are we going to see rate cuts? How is this going to affect my portfolio? More importantly, we could see the biggest injection of capital ever in the markets. That's why Michael Saylor, well, guess what? He's bullish and he is buying more. He doesn't care that Bitcoin's at a brand new all-time high. He is stacking sats like a crazy man. This should give us some indication as exactly where this market is. But the big question is Jerome Powell and these interest rates. Well, interestingly enough, we know that Donald Trump has been very public on his view of where interest rates should be. In fact, calling him too slow Jerome and the fact that he should resign. Well, Kevin Hassett, who is an economic advisor to President Trump, mentioned today that he might dismiss Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell if the allegations regarding excessive renovation costs prove to be true. Forget interest rates, Jerome. You've been doing a pain in the job on the house or the building you live in, and unfortunately it's costing too much money. So the White House is now considering options depending on the Fed's response to the concerns on cost. This could be a pretty big deal. Removing someone like Jerome Powell and putting someone like Scott Bessent could be incredibly bullish. The fact that Trump criticizes Jerome Powell extensively about interest rates is very bullish indeed. In fact, recently going on with Truth Social here and saying, I'm encouraged by the reports that Jerome Powell is considering resigning. I think this would be the right decision for the American and economy will boom. Now, the economy is doing pretty well. Like you said, we saw Bitcoin break all-time highs, S&P's rallying. But when you take true inflation, and we talked about this a number of times here, at 1.74%, it's hard to believe Jerome Powell's got nowhere to go. Surely he's got to cut rates. Well, what happens when he does? And certainly when you take past data, 2021 as an example, we saw a massive move in the market. And actually, if you predict that we could get the first rate cut end of September, followed by another one, this could see the market soar. Depends whether Jerome Powell is going to do it or not. It's important to understand how likely is this to happen. Well, let's take the previous Fed decisions. Look at this. November the 7th, 2024 and December 18th, 2024, we actually saw a quarter-point basis cut. Take that into the markets. What do you see? Well, this was the initial first rally when we got that initial rate cut coming in. November the 5th here, you can see this big spike up on the back, and then December the 18th. Well, that was the perfect top once again on the first move as well. So what we do know is if the rate cuts happen, we are going to see a big spike in the market. Take Bitcoin at 118,430 at the time of recording this video. Even the 119 all-time high is still without rate cuts. Now, what's really interesting is we are seeing USDC on USDT all being stacked very appropriately for these rate cuts and these market position moves. Lots of people are now removing crypto from exchanges and dumping stablecoins, getting ready to buy the opportunity leverage trade or do much else. And by the way, if you want to leverage trade, check out BITUNIX, link in the description. We are offering some brilliant sign-up bonuses as well as the best trading platform out there, no KYC or anything else available all over the world. Link is down there. Get on over there. Deposit as little as $100. Grab a $20 free trading account bonus. So check out BITUNIX if you want to move your stable coins and grab some trades. So all of this, for me, sets up a very interesting discussion, specifically when you start talking about Jerome Powell and how this looks. Now, the debate will be, is Jerome Powell going to be the head? Well, I truly think if he doesn't cut rates in July, I think Jerome is done. That's why I predict we're going to see rate cuts coming in July. Now, I am on my own at this point because actually when you look at the CME data, we're not quite getting what we would hope for. In fact, 93% of people say we're not going to get a rate cut, but 6.7%, this is growing, think we will. There is, however, some macro data that we're going to need to keep our eye on. It's coming this week in the form of CPI on Tuesday morning. Predictions of 0.3 versus the previous at 0.1. I think this is going to come in better. I have a funny feeling that we're going to see energy costs come down and a cost of groceries will come down yet again. And I think we'll see a bullish CPI injecting more capital into the markets and pushing prices even higher. So What's the summary? My prediction is I think we will see a rate cut in July. I'm on my own at this point, but I believe Jerome either chooses to rate cut or he loses his job. And either way, I think Trump will find his way through that. And if he does, we're going to see a massive amount of capital injected into markets. We've got tax cuts as lined to interest rate cuts means people will be more tempted to go risk assets. The dollar will weaken and Bitcoin, well, it's going to the moon if you believe that. And we could see massive price rallies, 150, 160. We could even see a 200K Bitcoin by the end of the year. So let me know what you think of all of that in the comments down below. And what do you think? Is Jerome Powell staying or is he heading to the highway? As always, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget, check out the links and hit that like and subscribe button. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.